For years now, knife makers have been upping their steel game with their newer, harder super steels. Not because you need them, but so bloggers and YouTubers knife-splain to you why you need the better steel via rope cutting and Rockwell hardness porn. The upside is this seems to be the only way knife bros are putting their steels to work that they pay for in their fancy knives. Hey man, I'm a crab wrangler. When I'm out on the rig, I need to be able to rely on my Z-Finnet to cut 3,000 yards of rope 22 hours a day when I'm out to sea for 8 months at a time for the next 22 years. I don't have all day to sharpen. I need to wrestle them crabs. Okay, not everyone wrestles crabs, needs extreme edge retention, so the knife makers are really hitting you with the squigglies. Instead of staring at your S45 VN sprint run, you're staring at the squiggles as you flip. And that's fine. Maybe you see a message in them, and like a soft, gentle worm in your ear, it motivates you to do things you wouldn't normally do. But we need new squiggles and swirls, or squirrels, if you will, to make our knives real darn pretty, like the QSP Hawk here, which finally has an affirmative answer to the question, hey, does the handle match the blade, if you know what I mean? But before we go any further, let's enhance some video with numbers and the blue lines, like the overall length and weight. So, what's your favorite current knife thing to overpay for? Blade size and cutting edge, other than brand or the standard edge retention. Handle size and grip area? Are you a squiggly savant or a pivot bearing believer? Spine thickness and handle thickness. No less than 3 rows, all ceramic. Tallnesses, or the weight-enhancing properties of titanium over aluminum in your expensive letter opener. I'm more of a Zerk man myself. The QSP Hawk is a Chinese-made medium-ish sized folding knife. A few months ago I reviewed another QSP knife named after a bird that it doesn't resemble, the Woodpecker, which is a slightly larger titanium folder with probably the smoothest bearing system on any of my knives. The blade can be closed with just a twist of the wrist, and no shakes, which is the holy grail of the how many wiggles crowd. Anyway, so looking closer at the Hawk's blade, not to be confused with a Hawk's bill or a Hawk's knife, the blade is made from a layered Chinese damascus steel, in a basic drop point blade style with what looks like to be a flat grind. I asked QSP what the steel is composed of, and they said it's 9CR18 MOV and VG10 layered and laminated. I know somewhere deep down you and I both wish it had a D2 layer. One day we'll have the CRs with the D2, if you know what I mean. But for now we'll have to endure the reply guys telling us why that's a bad idea in the comments. The pattern on the blade matches the handle fairly well. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this before, but I've never reviewed a Damascus bladed knife. The patterns really don't do much for me, but that's kind of my own thing. Remember, the important thing for knife addicts, though, is do you think it's pretty? And what would the resale value be like in a month? I'm probably going to do a giveaway of the knife on Instagram in a few weeks or less, so that's your notice to follow me if you haven't. The knife was fairly sharp out of the box. The Hawk is a flipper, but also with thumb studs. The tab has jimping. I'm a jimpless tab bro myself, which is a guy who has tender finger meats and also wonders, how can 1 calorie taste so good? Easy. The chemicals. I think I've made that joke before. It's probably the diet soda chemicals going to my brain. The tab and the thumb studs are a little scratchier on the finger meat than I'd like, but the strong detent and bearings give the deployment a nice pop. Robust even. Speaking of a pop, anyone else know a soft drink with 1 calorie and flavor, robust flavor? The tab is a little easier to use for deployment than the thumb studs, but not much. There's a tiny but not insignificant bit of creakiness to the bearings. Can we call it a bearing whine without, making me sound like a prick? Cool. Anyway, I improved it with some nano oil. I didn't really improve it, I just added some lube to it. You could use knife pivot lube if you really wanted. Lockup is nice. Disengagement of the lock is less owie on your tender fingers than the tab and the studs. If there were a way to test lock strength, how would I do it? If I could only think of a way to do it. This is for the people complaining I haven't done it in a while, okay? Lockup covers about the first third of the tang. You can give it a hard fling to get the blade to deploy by flinging it downward. It's not easy though, and not a good way to deploy. The handle is some sort of spiraled, marbled carbon fiber that matches the blade's Damascus pattern. One of the better integrated patterns I've seen. The handle is smooth, and underneath has polished stainless steel liners with no skeletonization. Edges are knocked down though, and no owie parts other than the stud and the tab textures. The grip area though is a little on the small side for my hands. The pocket clip is stainless steel and slides in the pocket nicely, but it's a little tight. It's also a deep carry and not reversible. Blade backward, tip up in the right pocket, which is fine for right-handers. Now the comparisons. First, the Hawk. I believe this knife runs about $100. Fit and finish and materials all suggest it's a fair price per its fanciness. Some people might be grossed out it has stainless steel liners versus titanium, but that of course would increase its price. Even with the stainless steel, it keeps the weight under my arbitrary 4-ounce mark, which I break if I really like the knife. You know that. Now the Woodpecker. It's about a $80 more knife, $180. Has a smoother pivot. Not sure which one looks better to my eyes, but your eyes may tell a different story. Fit and finish is on par. Handles are both very comfortable. And we're going to go to the classic Para Military 2. It's about a $140 knife now. I have no idea what the blurple is anymore. But it's pretty close to perfect, as in no owie ergonomic parts and a great fidget factor with a nice lock and good steel. Looks nice, neutral, generous grip area, and a finish in the pocket profile. We're going to wrap it up. The Hawk is a fine knife. Don't really see any major issues with it. I would like a slightly longer handle per my hand size and maybe tab geometry or shape that doesn't need jimping. Jimpless tabs are, doable if you get the geometry right. The styling is kind of a personal preference. I'm not really into Damascus stuff, but maybe you are. I have the opinion that QSP, while a newer company, makes pretty good budget and some slightly nicer EDC pocket knives. Translated, you won't get a much lower price point for the materials they use versus the other brands. So I'd say it comes down to styling if it speaks to you. Also, say hi to the patrons. Like, subscribe, comment, buy a t-shirt, Follow me on Instagram. And remember, over on Instagram, I'm going to be giving this knife away soon. QSP provided it for review. And as always, thanks for watching.